started the church, we bought this facility for $2.6 million. And 10 years ago, that was a lot of money. And when we moved in, we thought that we could just do the ministry here. But what we discovered was that this was an old building that needed a lot of work. So, not having any money, what we had to do, we had to be creative. And one way of being creative was, well, they sent us a lot of credit card applications, so I filled like 3-4 of them out and started charging everything for the supplies that we needed to remodel this building. It was kind of tough financially, but in terms of the reward of the people that came and the people that really made their home here in this church, it was all worth it.
I remember when we went camping, or my family doesn't go camping too much, so it was kind of fun, surprising that my parents wanted to go. But yeah, I remember even like at night with the scary stories and stuff, Pastor Fred really scared me when he took out this huge knife after telling us this really scary story. I don't know. It was really funny that Jason Beck screamed the loudest out of all of us, though.
It's kind of fun seeing the kids get older, even though they're not my kids, but it's just great seeing them get older and just be able to contribute more to the church as a whole. It's great seeing the youth group become a youth group and join their own band, have their own ministry, and just be a part of the SCC family. It's great seeing people within the congregation step up into leadership, whether it be starting a small group or joining the band or just anything in any ministry. And it's great that people are taking ownership in this church, in this ministry, and calling it their own.
And you loved a people undeserving.
The best thing is that SCC is full of people who are gifted, talented, who are amazing, loving. And so it's a great joy to be part of this church because we have great people. But that will also be our challenge to empower people to use those gifts and talents for God's ministry.
My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. As the heavens are higher than the earth. Search me and know my heart. I give myself to you. For the heavens are higher than the earth. Whoa, yeah, yeah.
I just love coming on Sunday mornings. Just worship, just the initial worship on Sunday mornings, where I do PowerPoint sometimes. I see the words to some of these songs, and it really doesn't seem like nothing, but to actually see those words to come to life in worship during and as the band leads praise, that to me is kind of my favorite, one of the most favorite moments I have in coming to SCC.
As the heavens are higher than the earth. Lord, come and mold my heart. Lord, come and mold my heart. My eyes are set on you. For the heavens are higher than the earth. Whoa.
All of our best memories are not as much about what happens during the service and during the sermon, but what happens outside of that. The camping trips, the picnics, the getting together for fellowship and food afterwards, and there's where the love shows in this group, that the community that the group has with each other and for everybody who walks in the door.
Basically, SCC is not just about Sundays.
It's about every day. It's about the love that we have and the caring and the trust that we give each other and God all through the week.
You see, because we're always looking to try new things and expand God's ministry, that God will have people that He will bring to SCC that we don't even know about, and gifts that He will raise up in people that aren't even thinking. And for instance, I think there's a next generation of worship leaders at our church that they don't even know about that are going to lead worship in the next 5 years. But I think God has plans to, again, continue to expand His kingdom in the sense that people know more and more about unconditional love, forgiveness, grace, reconciliation.
Say that my most memorable time at SCC was our baptism, which took place in February '04, and a week prior to the time we were baptized, I called Pastor Fred and said, I'm ready. And as a family we were baptized. We had never been to a baptism or obviously been baptized, and the service took place, and at the end of the baptism the congregation was invited to welcome us to the church as a family, and every single person got up out of their seats and welcomed us with an embrace and a hug, and I will never forget that day. It was probably more like one of the most awesome days I've experienced.
I know you gave.
Oh gosh, I guess like for me it would be trying out for the softball team for the first time. That was very intimidating, just playing with a bunch of guys. But also, I think having my first meeting with Pastor Fred to really discuss my journey, my spiritual journey, and where I was headed, and how I could get to where I needed to be.
For me, this place has become the foundation for my life. It's really grown my spirituality and got me involved so much more in my walk with Christ and getting involved with community. And of course, SCC is the foundation for our marriage, so that's really the most important thing in our life.
I believe that the future and challenge of our church is not in this building or in the programs that we run, but in our people. We have such a great community, and we have experienced so many great things here. But the true challenge is taking that goodness in our community and taking it back into our world, whether it is in our workplace or whether it is in our schools, growing God's kingdom there. Recently, some people came back from the Creation Music Festival with a t-shirt that said, "Be the church." And I believe that is our challenge, to be the church not only in this place, but back in our world.